In a very famous TED Talk, they mentioned that 40 to 45% of our daily behaviors are habits. But that doesn't mean that building new habits is a piece of cake. 80% of people give up or fail on their goals within 30 days of just setting them. So then, how does one break the cycle of their own bad habits? Our habits are things we take for granted, and sometimes we're not even aware of them. They are fully automated and repeated behaviors, always in the same context and occur in the subconscious mind. The difference between who you are and who you want to be is what you do. Humans are biologically predisposed to repeat behaviors based on immediate physical, social, and emotional consequences. So if a habit doesn't feel good right away, then it's hard to stick to it. And if you fall off track, it's not easy to get back on. But what if you aimed higher than that? What if you pushed slightly outside of your comfort zone, that when you fail, you land right where you wanted to be? You have to do something with mastery to become excellent at it. Tony Robbins liked to say that repetition is the mother of skill, and that you should raise your standards of yourself. Don't go from 1% to 100% immediately. Let me give you examples from my own chosen lifestyle, where I've created some challenging but thorough life changes, and I'm committed to them. In Breatharianism, you don't eat any solid food for 2 months after your initiation. And after committing to fasting for so long, a new perspective about food is set in your mind, both physically and psychologically. It will be impossible to go back to normal 3 times a day eating. Although it is in human nature to revert to whatever is comfortable and familiar, once you cross into an extremity for a while, you get used to it. So when you bounce back, you never go back all the way to the starting point. So then, how does one break the cycle of their own bad habits? This should be done one step at a time. One small, feasible commitment that you know you can do, and then another one slightly bigger, and again, and again, and again. If we're talking about incorporating Breatharian principles into your life for better health and spirituality, don't go back into eating 100% right away. Maybe start with some water or liquid meals, then move into something like intermittent fasting windows. But really, the easiest way to break the cycle with any new habit is to create a powerful incentive for yourself. Without one, we have no true intention, and we're just lying to ourselves, as many of us do. Let me give you an example. You can sit in a restaurant and go over the menu. You see your favorite unhealthy crap like pizza or ice cream, and you tell your brain, "Oh, I can't have that, I'm on a diet." Instead, you should tell your brain, "I choose not to have that because I'm getting more from being fit, and I know I'm gonna feel bad if I eat that right now." So choose your incentives and focus on your incentive. Be excited about it. Think long-term happiness. You have to find a way to celebrate breaking a bad habit while building the proper one. Whether that is the fresh taste of toothpaste after successfully brushing your teeth in the morning, or maybe a cup of coffee right after you hit the gym. Find ways to reward yourself for sticking to your word, and start building trust with yourself that you'll not only be able to do it again, but will be able to do it better and be disciplined about it. You need to build a momentum before it gets easy and a part of your life. So don't give up right after you start. Accept that this might take some time. I like this definition of discipline: to prefer what is to come versus what is right now. I also like how Mike Tyson says it: discipline is doing what you hate to do, but nonetheless doing it like you love it. So we already know what our bad habits are: staying up too late, eating too much dessert, or watching too much TV, alcohol or drugs, being negative to ourselves. All these things are very, very common. In this world, there are so many temptations and easy ways to achieve instant gratification. But we're trying to play the long game. You have to help yourself now in order to be better in the future. Start slow and start small. There's probably more than one thing you want to change or improve, but pick one thing and really focus and put all your energy into that one thing. Make a mental list and prioritize it. Focus on the top one. Trying to change 5 habits at once will guarantee that you either won't do them well or you won't do them at all. Focus on it, master it, own it, then move on, taking it one step at a time. Maybe for you, the habit is your health. It might be something simple like walking 10 minutes each day. Maybe it's eating one piece of fruit. And eventually, that 10-minute walk might turn into a 30-minute walk, or maybe even a run. And maybe that one piece of fruit might turn into a plate of fruits and vegetables instead of something heavy. Start small, show up for yourself, and build the new habit from down moving up. Don't be afraid of commitment. Every day is a completely new you, and you do things differently from the past you. Create a schedule. Pick a time and a place to activate your new habit. If you leave it up to chance, it'll give your brain too much time to change its mind. If you want to work out in the morning, but you're lying in bed instead of going out and exercising, you probably won't go out and exercise. The longer you think about it, the less likely it is that you'll actually get up and go out and exercise. Plus, the best time to change is right now. And the less you act on the promises you made to yourself, the less you're able to commit to the habit. The more you lie to yourself, the less trust you'll have in yourself, and the harder it will be to create new habits. Teach yourself trust by just starting and not making a big deal out of it. I know a lot of people that are following my content understand how powerful and transformational the habit of fasting can be. So if you want to build the habit of fasting, maybe you decide to water fast once a week. Eventually, this schedule will become routine and you'll rewire your brain so that it will feel weird to stop. Same with something like exercising. It might feel so hard to get up and go work out, but once it becomes a habit, you'll be itching to get to exercise on the days that you usually do. Remember what we talked about in the beginning of the video. Any new habit will require some extremity to build momentum and eventually be hooked into the system. Or even a sleep schedule. If you wake up at 9 o'clock every day, but you want to wake up at 6, and you start pushing yourself to this new schedule, eventually you won't need an alarm clock to wake up at 6. You'll naturally start to do so. It will become a habit. Your body will simply know. There's going to be times where you fail, where you don't make it to the gym, or you feel like you're just so hungry that you have to eat and you have to break your fast. But it's not useful for your personal growth to sit in judgment, guilt, and embarrassment for these actions. You need to think positive no matter what. Forgive yourself and move on. The first step to moving past this is being aware that you're feeling or thinking in that particular way. You need to ask yourself, why might I be feeling or thinking that way? This allows you to objectively understand what you need to do next. Do I need to take a step back from something? Should I stop engaging in these type of scenarios? Am I blaming my friends or my family and not assuming full responsibility for my own actions? It's not about how you think or feel, but how you act on how you think or feel. And those actions will ultimately affect those thoughts and feelings. You need to practice plucking out the weeds of judgment, ridicule, and complaining, and replanting positive seeds that grow into flowers. The habit that felt so hard to commit to becomes the habit that is so hard to break. You'd be surprised by how small, simple decisions, like changing what type of music you listen to or the types of movies you watch, can have a drastic effect on your perspective of yourself and the environment around you. Take notice of what might be a weed in your life and what might be flowers. My mentor always used to say, some people are just like clouds. Only when they disappear, the sun comes out. And even with all the focus, the scheduling, the plucking and planting you do, you still might not fully trust yourself. And you'll have to fake it till you make it. Think about what your future self would do, even if it's uncomfortable to do it right now. Wouldn't the next morning you be happy that the previous evening you cleaned out the kitchen? Wouldn't future you be happy when you look in the mirror and know you are on the right track to getting your goals? Your future self will thank you for it. Keep showing up for yourself no matter what, and prove to yourself that you are worth trusting and that you can really count on yourself to be there for yourself. Because the most successful people in the world aren't the smartest, but the people who are persistent, intentional, and believe that they deserve whatever they dream of achieving. Engineers are innovators because they think about how things aren't working. They look for solutions no matter how impossible it may seem and just go for it. They test their ideas and build trust and belief in the process. The universe will reflect to you what you believe in, so you have to believe in yourself and in your capabilities. It's 80% internal work on your beliefs and only 20% action in the outside world.